This is Michael Carson back with another video. Well, I made an earlier video about a guy claiming to be, trans and having the, sex offender list violate his rights. There's body cam footage which I will play shortly, but what I wanted to start off with here is I wanted to start off with, of course, the thumbnail. And then I wanted to start off with his prison record. And I will put that up here on the screen. And his prison record from the Virginia Department of Corrections that was told to the local 7 News from September 1988 to May 1989, he was in jail, in prison. From April 1993 to January 2001, he was again in prison. And I believe that is March 2002 to July 2004, because you can't do 22 to 04. So March 2002 to July 2004, he was in prison again. And then from August 2007 to July 2014, he was in prison again. That's 7 years again. That's 7 years there. And then from April of 2016 to January of 2018, he was in prison again. I will play the video here shortly, and then what I will do is I will go over the article, then I'll play another video so you can see the argument against, letting trans go into women's bathrooms and crap like that. I mean, it's all crap, but for the sake of, equal time or equal opinion, I'm going to play that video, which is a month old already. But I wanted you to see that before I read the article and before I showed the body cam footage again. I'm going to show a snippet of the body cam footage, and then I'm going to show the articles, and then I'm going to play the full report, and then I'll play the full body cam footage if you want to watch the full body cam footage again. Because I played it in the prior video, but it didn't get any views on YouTube, but it got views elsewhere, so I'm not too concerned about that. I mean, this crap just has to stop. Okay, on to the articles. This first one comes from the Western Journal. It's by C. Douglas Golden. DA refuses to prosecute trans sex offender who previously exposed themselves at 2 schools, 3 rec centers, say police. The creep, whose name is on the screen, you can read it yourself, I'm just not going to do it. He's 58, he's a registered sex offender. According to a March 3rd report from WJLA-TV, the guy faces 12 counts in Arlington County of being a sex offender in proximity to children, 3 counts for a sex offender entering a school or child daycare center, 4 counts of indecent exposure, 2 counts of taking indecent liberties with children, and 1 count of identity theft. His next hearing is on May 23rd, 2025. The public defender wanted the hearing closed. WJLA reported the judge asked Arlington Commonwealth Attorney whether they had an opinion on this, and they didn't. The judge asked why the public defender wanted the hearing closed. After that, the motion was withdrawn. One might have asked why the Arlington County attorney didn't have an opinion on the matter. Then again, prosecutors in Northern Virginia have plenty of blame to share for the fact that he was still out on the street, particularly since in neighboring Fairfax County, the top prosecutor refused to go after the registered sex offender after he allegedly committed indecent exposure in a Planet Fitness women's restroom. So he didn't just only go to schools. He went to the Planet Fitness that's popular around the country. So he went to a gym and went to the female bathroom there. Now, after allegedly exposing himself at 2 schools and 3 recreational centers on 10 different occasions since the previous charges against him were dropped, prosecutors seem to be playing a different tune. If only they had done so back in 2024. Well, he's got a history. On the other article, they actually show the history. The guy reported identified as a transgender. However, this seems to be one of the few cases in which the media is willing to address someone who is very obviously looks like a male and is a male as a male, despite calling himself transgender. Perhaps, as the station reported last month, he is also a registered sex offender who has a lengthy criminal history. However, the alleged indecent exposure happened inside a Planet Fitness in Church Falls, Virginia, in June of 2024, and the Planet Fitness policy allowed a registered sex offender into whatever bathroom he pleases. All members, including transgender members, may use Planet Fitness locker room facilities, bathrooms, showers, and all other facility programs separated by sex based upon their self-reported gender identity. And people still go to Planet Fitness. That's just dumb. That's why I have a Planet Fitness approved badge on the thumbnail. Apparently, to have stuff like this happen to them, according to this criminal complaint by an unnamed woman, all members, including transgender members, may use the Planet Fitness locker room facilities, bathroom, showers, and all other facility programs separated by sex based on their self-reported identity. Apparently, to have stuff like this happen to them, according to this criminal complaint by an unnamed woman, which I should have read it instead of rereading the other line. I went to Planet Fitness in Church Falls on June 6th and around 4:30 p.m. and I went to the restroom. The complaint read, I used the stall. Once I was finished, I went to wash my hands, and as soon as I was finished with my hands, I tried to walk out, and I was startled by a man naked right in front of me in the restroom. I panicked and ran out of there to see if I'm in the right restroom. I looked at the sign outside the restroom, and it was the female restroom. Another Fairfax County resident named Lindsay, no last name given, said she canceled her gym membership because of the guy's presence. You can read his name if you want to, but I'm not going to. I would just like to leave the gym when I was pregnant because I was so uncomfortable around him, she said, noting that Planet Fitness is right next door to an indoor playground for children. And so we actually walked out of the gym and used the restroom at the Aldi together because we felt so uncomfortable that we couldn't even use our own gym locker room, she said. I canceled it and never went back. That's what you gotta do. You don't need to make a big deal about it. You just need to walk out and do it. WJLA asked Fairfax County top prosecutor Steve DeCanto why he hasn't chosen to prosecute the case given the criminal complaint and the man's long history. Prosecutors are not involved in pro se misdemeanor cases in Fairfax, and prosecutors were not involved in this particular case, a spokesman for DeCanto said in an email response. Pro se cases are where the defendant does not have an attorney representing them. That doesn't mean anything. You can still prosecute him. He can be his own attorney. WJLA responded in kind. A misdemeanor sexual battery or DUI defendant was unrepresented. A Fairfax prosecutor wouldn't be involved. Many jurisdictions prosecute indecent exposure whether the accused is represented by attorney or not. So why doesn't Steve DeCanto? Why is DeCanto giving people a free pass? Why did Fairfax County Commonwealth Attorney Steve DeCanto office prosecute Cox for failing to register as a sex offender, but not for indecent exposure? Lindsay agreed. I can't believe this is nonsense, she said. I would like to see our prosecutors do their job, which is prosecute crimes. That's it. Do your job. Prosecute crimes. That is all moms want you to do. So did Fairfax County Attorney Ned Nuttall. In all my 29 years of practice, I haven't come across a case where a prosecutor in any jurisdiction refuses to prosecute an indecent exposure case because the accused is unrepresented by counsel or not represented by counsel, he said. That's why repeat yourself like that. After a spree of allegedly exposing himself at 2 schools and 3 rec centers, including to a 9-year-old girl, prosecutors finally decided to act. Yeah, after all that time. Rather unbelievably, too, Cox tried to press charges against Planet Fitness employees for canceling his membership for using the female restrooms, and provided an astounding defense for himself against indecent exposure charges that DeCanto refused to press on with. Gymnasiums have been places of social nudity dating back as far as the ancient Roman Greeks, the man wrote in a July 15, 2024 motion to dismiss that was shared by WJLA. In fact, nudity among the ancients was not always segregated by gender either. It was not uncommon for a male to be naked around women or a female to be naked around men. But unless the event was something like an orgy, it was considered nothing but platonic to have this social nudity. Yeah, well, he's crazy into body cam too. And I'll play the full thing of that later. Yes, well, here's WJLA's description of the platonic Planet Fitness nudist. The man is a Tier 3 sex offender according to court documents. Tier 3 offenses are the most serious type of sex offenses with the required registration period of life. Well, they didn't do anything before. They didn't care until they got media attention. On May 18, 1992, Arlington grand jury charged him with knowingly and intentionally exposing his genitals to a 14-year-old in 92. News 7 reviewed Arlington Circuit documents from the 1990s and confirmed that he was convicted of taking indecent liberties with children in Arlington. In 1992, Cox visited a gymnasium and exposed himself to multiple children, according to court records. The court documents listed him as a male. He was also served 5 stints in prison for September 1988 up until 2018, the longest stint being almost 8 years between 1993 and 2001, JLA reported. In October 2020, post on social media X by the Virginia Department of Corrections listed him as one of the most wanted, saying he was a registered sex offender with outstanding warrants and asked citizens to call for information about his whereabouts. This is what keeping segregated by actual non-imagined gender is supposed to prevent. And even if that failed, the Fairfax County DA had every opportunity to lock the serial sicko up again. Now, how many other women and young girls have to be exposed to this pervert by society's madness? If he cannot become an incantation against this insanity, nothing can, I fear. And that was an article at the Western Journal. The Fairfax WJLA thing, does a mugshot thing here. And then it shows the kids' store next to the Planet Fitness. And it's the same thing. There's the lady Lindsay that is pictured, that was referenced to in the other article. Because the other article basically just summarizes this article. And then this is a picture of Steve DeCanto. That's the guy that refused to prosecute. And you can read it on the screen if you want. It's the same as what that last article was, so I'm not rereading it. I'm just showing what the article actually is. I will play that report, though, separately. And let me end on reading, again, his arrest record. His arrest records from 1988, or his prison sentences from 1988, September 1988 to May 1989, then April 1993 to January 2001, March 2002 to July 2004, August 2007 to July 2014, and then April 2016 to January 2018. So he's clearly had his history of doing this over and over again. And, you know, this is why you just cancel your memberships at these public gyms that allow for this stupid crap. I mean, he shouldn't even be allowed to do that. Anyways, next up is the videos. First, I'm going to show the report, and then I will show the body cam footage again. That was in the last video, but nobody on YouTube watched it, so I'll just put it up in this video again if you want to watch it. And have yourself a wonderful day.
All new at 6, 7 News is learning of more incidents involving a registered child sex offender charged with exposing himself in a girls' locker room at a Virginia high school. Arlington police say 58-year-old Richard Cox also visited another local high school and a county sports and fitness center. Police say he exposed himself in the women's locker rooms at both locations. And all of this comes as our Nick Minock discovered the U.S. Department of Education is being called on to investigate bathroom policies at Northern Virginia schools.
America First Legal is asking President Donald Trump's U.S. Department of Education to investigate Alexandria, Arlington, Fairfax, Loudoun, and Prince William public schools for allowing biological males to use female locker rooms and bathrooms in schools.
These 5 schools that we named are violating Title IX, and they are violating President Trump's executive orders.
Ian Pryor is a senior advisor with America First Legal.
What you have in these school systems are policies related to restrooms and locker rooms that allow people to use a restroom consistent with their gender identity, not their biological sex. What that does is it allows a boy, for example, to go use a female restroom, and if the female has an issue with that, then she's the one that has to go use the private restroom. Well, under Title IX, that's discrimination on the basis of sex.
In their complaint, AFL mentioned 7 News' reporting that showed a sex offender used Washington Liberty High School's girls' locker room and allegedly exposed himself to women and children. Witnesses say Richard Cox was able to access the locker room because he identified as transgender when he visited the school's indoor pool, which is open to the public outside of school hours. After our reporting, a number of residents asked Arlington leaders to restrict female locker rooms to females.
My concern is that law-abiding males are invited to strip naked in front of women and girls.
I urge you now, for the safety of our students, to enact an emergency policy that establishes distinct and separate restroom and changing facilities for females and males.
But some are supportive of Arlington's policies.
I also encourage you not to backpedal on our supportive policies because a sex offender committed a crime.
The thing is, in public space, others don't get to define who chooses who is woman or man enough to use a locker room. In fact, most times you won't even know if a transgender individual is in the locker room with you. But don't blame transgender folks for sexual predation, and don't blame your uncomfortableness with others for the inconvenience of maybe choosing to use the family locker rooms.
Nick Minock, 7 News.
Today, Nick asked all 5 school districts if they are going to change their bathroom and locker room policies. We've heard from 3 school districts. Prince William's School Board Chair tells us that he stands by their policy. Alexandria is reviewing the president's executive order, and Fairfax says it's standing by its policy, saying FCPS remains committed to fostering a safe, supportive, welcoming, and inclusive school environment for all students and staff, including our transgender and gender expansive students and staff. Loudoun and Arlington counties have not yet responded.
I'm here. I'm going to talk to him again.
Hey, you got the interlocation.
All right, thank you, sir.
Down there, the intersection.
Hey, guys, I might be looking at this. I might be wrong. Okay, before you talk to us, you've got something to say to you real quick.
So I'm Sarah Baldwin. I'm the Deputy Director for the Park Authority. I'm letting you know that you are banned from all rec centers in Fairfax County.
I understand that.
Okay.
We have these gentlemen as witnesses.
Okay.
And they will also be witnesses to what I'm about to say.
Okay. All right. Well, okay. She's done what she needs to do. I'm going to take her back over, and I'll be right back with you, okay?
I'm going to need your ID real quick. You have an ID? Sure. All right, cool. Hey, you want to sit in the pool? That way you can just... Okay, my understanding of the sex offender registry, okay, because I understand that they're concerned about my history, and that's the reason they're banning me,
My understanding of the sex offender registry is that it is a tool to be used to prevent any sort of future criminal offenses. Now, my civil rights as a transgender person allows me to use a public facility, including the restrooms or changing rooms that identify with my gender. You could see on my ID that I'm recognized by the Commonwealth of Virginia as female. So exercising my civil rights is not a criminal offense. So them pulling up my information on the sex offender registry and using it to stop me from exercising my civil rights as a transgender person is a criminal misuse of the sex offender registry. They can use that registry to try and stop someone from committing a criminal offense, which I was not doing. I was only exercising my civil rights, which they are completely and entirely opposed to.
Let me ask you a question.
And they criminally use the sex offender registry
didn't.
against me. That should be for a judge to to decide. I may be right, I may be wrong, but I want files pressed against them for misuse of the sex offender registry. Because I was not doing anything.
Who monitors the sex offender registry?
I was not doing anything criminal.
We're not saying you are. Who monitors the sex offender registry? The Virginia State Police, correct? And they have a database that's public access. Anyone can go on there and research your name. Anyone.
Right, but it says specifically that they're in violation of the code if they use any information they find on that sex offender registry against someone in an unlawful
I think
fashion.
there's other things they're concerned about, and so you're trespassed from all county rec centers. You understand that. She's verbally told you in front of law enforcement. I want you to know this. I'm not ignoring what you just said to me, okay? But if you show up to any other county facility, rec centers.
No, don't worry. I'll be before the Commonwealth's attorney before.
Well, that's what you need to do.
Before any of these places even opens tomorrow.
Okay. Well, you can go down to the magistrate if you feel like you got something, or you can go to the courthouse.
Magistrate might be a good idea.
Yeah. So, but just letting you know.
Now, because the state police monitors this, does that mean I would need to have them file charges, or can you guys also file charges if somebody misuses the sex offender registry?
I would urge you to reach out to your trooper that comes and checks on you, or your sex offender compliance officer that comes out. Correct? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So who's your trooper?
I've got his name in my phone somewhere.
Yeah, you could reach out to him. He probably going to have a lot more information about that than we do. That's a state police thing. That's not Fairfax County Police. The state police handles that. They handle the database. They handle registry. They handle everything that has to do with the Virginia Sex Offender Registry.
Does that mean the Fairfax County Magistrate wouldn't be able to file charges
unless
it was brought by the
Commonwealth
state
of Virginia? So what I'm telling you is some of the questions you're asking, you need to refer back to the state police. Okay? As of right now, you have every right to go speak to a magistrate or speak to whoever you want to speak to, but a report will be written. Officer Campos will give you his card with a case number. That's going to document what you've told us, how you feel. It's going to document what she just said, and that you can't be on any rec centers in the county at all, anywhere. Okay? She has that authority because she's like second in charge of all the rec centers for the county.
Okay, I understand that. And if she honestly believed that I was going to break the law and that was her reason for banning me, that's one thing. But if it's clear that all she was concerned about me doing was exercising my civil rights as a transgender person, which is all they've got right now, then she's the one who's going to lose in court.
Yeah, definitely contact your trooper, and all those questions are for them, okay?
Did you give me my ID back?
I did. What's a good phone number for you?
571.
This is an updated number.
Your address on your ID, that's current?
Yeah.
All right, Richard, do you have any other questions for us?
No, that's all.
All right, just again, just to solidify, none of the public, the county recs at all, okay?
Right. Now, I understand this whole transgender thing is new. It's it's still being developed daily, and with Republicans back in power, it's being developed even further. But they're banning me from
Channel Bravo, 8 Bravo, San Francisco.
authority, these guys are going outside their bounds trying to do.
What's case number, okay?
Okay.
All right,
A case number for what?
It's going to be written.
Just the report.
You mean report. Report. Okay.
Yeah. All this is going to be written down because we came out, we spoke with her, we spoke with you, everything of that nature. So he's going to document everything that happened today. Okay. So there'll be a report submitted. All right. Do you have any questions for us?
No.
All right, sir. All right. You have a safe day.
I'm going to give you that case number as well. Okay.
Thank you for watching this video. Please consider watching one of my other videos, and have a good day.